Hello, everyone. Sean, Go-Wirral, second time today. The podcast marathon continues. It's been an amazing day and just like talking to lovely females. And I love nothing more than just talking to women because they just make me feel calmer. I think all women kind of have that calming presence on me. And it's something that I just need because I'm so manic and crazy all the time. So thanks. So Margaret, you can be that person now.
Can be your calming
I,
this evening then.
I need
Okay,
it.
cool.
First of all, just to introduce Margaret in terms of Go-Wirral, I just want to thank you for being a part of Go-Wirral because you've been part of Go-Wirral now for a long time. So one of the first businesses to get on board with us and supported us from the beginning and also supported Wirral. So, with your membership, that goes towards supporting a community organisation. We're now at the point where we've raised over £1,200 in total for community
Amazing.
organisations. So there's 6 different places. The vote for what month are we in? June. So the vote for May will start tomorrow. And then by next Friday, that they will be awarded. I think it's about £300 this month or something. But it's basically getting to the point of about £300 a month at the moment. Yeah, and that keeps growing as well. The more and more businesses that come on board with us. But yeah, just to say thank you for that, really, and you've been a big part of it. Um, so yeah, thank you, and just to get that out there. So not only are you a gut and hormone specialist, you're also a good egg, which really helps, doesn't it?
So that definitely helps. I'm glad I'm a good egg and not a bad.
Well, you don't want to be a bad egg, do you? It's not a
No.
mess, is that? Yeah, but I think it's just important to thank you, and like we had our first networking event and you weren't able to go to it because you had something really important on. But
I did, yeah.
I'm hoping in the future that you're going to be a part of that and part of that network and that community of businesses that are really starting to kind of like do things together, which I'm just really happy about actually. Unintended benefit, by the way. So never expected any networking, any business to business stuff going on, didn't envision any of that at the beginning of the project, and it's that unintended or unexpected benefit that has just been
Yeah.
really nice. And I hope that you're part of that next part of the journey too. Um, so yeah, okay. So thanks for coming on and taking the time to talk to us. Introduce yourself, Margaret, and just tell everyone who you are and what you do.
Yeah. Best way to put it is that I give women their life back. And how I do that, I'm a gut and hormone health specialist as well as a retreat chef who's also trained in food psychology as well. So when I work with women, it is really for them to understand what is going on in the body because best will in the world, we go to a GP or, you know, we're told that we're fine. We're told that it's all in our head, or we're told that, yes, it might be menopause or perimenopause and just kind of get on with it. Whereas, I'll be honest with you, yes, this is not in any way damning GPs because crikey, they do have difficult jobs and they've only got a finite amount of time. But women have kind of been, let's just say, left behind when it comes to anything to do with their health or anything to do in the medical world. And I really want to start changing that, to be quite honest with you, so women can actually understand what is going on within their bodies, whether it is something to do with the guts or whether that is IBS, skin issues, even anxiety and depression, or if it is something to do with perimenopause and menopause, we can actually deal with that in, I guess, a more of a holistic way. But I can also, as well, because I'm now trained in blood work as well, blood work interpretation, I can give them a much more thorough idea of what's going on that side when we get blood tests back and saying they are normal.
Yeah, but we don't feel normal, for example.
Exactly. You'd be surprised how many women come to me and say, I just do not feel right. I don't know what's going on. I'm having this, and this symptom.
What are those, Margaret? So for those that maybe mightn't be that aware, including me, so I am green on this, like, and I have my own kind of issues with my gut that stress affects me. So I deliver training, I go and work with homelessness teams, and anytime I'm doing like training, particularly with managers and senior managers like directors, I get really, really stressed and my stomach is just, and I think IBS runs in the family. What are some of the other so that might be something that's going on with me. What are some of the other things that you'll see like symptoms from people that you work with?
Bloating,
Hmm.
and I'm not just talking, the odd kind of bloat that we can have when we do eat too much. This is ongoing bloating all the time.
Huh.
Acid reflux.
Okay.
It can also be, yes, IBS, but to put this in a way that sounds not too graphic, not being able to evacuate fully,
Yeah.
shall we say.
Hmm.
Anxiety is also a part of the gut as well. You might not think it is, but there's a huge connection between the two.
Well, I would assume that that's what mine is, if I'm
Yeah.
completely honest. So
Mhm.
I can track it exactly to when I'm anxious about delivering something, training wise. That's when my stomach will go. So I do just track it. I just relate it to anxiety, actually.
Yeah. You'll find a lot of women as well get things like food sensitivities
Hmm.
and just not being able to eat specifically what they used to and get away with it.
Mm. So does that change with time?
Yes,
Why? Why does it
100% it does
change?
actually change. Literally because our hormones change and certain hormones are really, really extreme buffers for us. And when they start declining, things like your gut lining can start to decline. You also find that, again, things that you used to be able to tolerate, you can't because hormones have actually changed. But also, I'm sure you know a few women who are going through perimenopause, our moods change as well. But it can also affect even our weight as well. So massive hormonal changes can really, really change our gut health and make us feel that we're just not ourselves anymore.
Yeah, it's really interesting for me, and actually, because I am quite new to it, so it's all learning for me. I want to talk about your journey in a minute, and kind of maybe even how you ended up in Wirral, actually, because it doesn't sound
Mhm.
like you're from Wirral. I'm not
Nope.
from Wirral. I was born in Liverpool. My family is from Wirral, and I've spent a lot of time in Wirral, and both of my kids have been brought up in Wirral. But I'm not from Wirral. I was born in Liverpool. But we're going to go there next, just again for my own learning and for context. Perimenopausal and menopausal, please explain so I understand. Just get it, just preach.
Menopause is literally, in medical terms, one day.
Okay.
That is when a woman has hit menopause, which basically means that she hasn't had a period bleed for 12 months.
Okay.
And that is menopause. That's the one day,
Right.
basically. Perimenopause is up to 10 years before this,
Right.
when your hormones actually start fluctuating, start changing. And this can be, as I say, this can change a woman's moods, this can change a woman's energy, can change her weight, her mind, the whole lot. And I think I watched something earlier on today. It can just feel like a hell of a lot of tidal waves all the time. You get hit by one, you start paddling like mad, get back to the surface, and then another one hits, because it's not like the the hormones basically just come down and then go up. It is like that
Yeah.
all the way through.
So the menopause is almost the relief at the end because that
Yeah.
experience of perimenopausal, kind of the symptoms that go with perimenopause, have subsided maybe at the point of menopause or
Not
not.
100%,
Right.
because you still can, even when you have been through menopause, experience things like hot flashes, as I've heard a few women say, and experience weight gain and joint aches as well.
Okay. Yeah, it's just helpful for me to kind of have that context really, and because there might be some people who are watching that don't know that. So let's talk about you, your journey, maybe your personal journey, and that's how that's led you to where you are. Maybe some of the philosophy that kind of shapes your work and what you do now. So tell the listeners and people who are watching now, where did your story start, and maybe like your story with food even, because
Mhm.
it is in very much linked to food, isn't it? So can
Yeah.
you talk about your journey and maybe how you've ended up in Wirral doing what you do?
Yeah, definitely. It started when I was 3.
Cool. Yeah.
I'm
So a
originally
lifelong.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I'm originally from Newcastle, and at 3-year-old, I was in my granddad's and grandma's kitchen, and he was making chips, old-fashioned chips, with beef dripping. So he was cooking them once slowly and then flash frying them, and he asked me to join in and help make them, and that just started the whole life journey that food is a family thing. Food is something that you usually make together, and food is a way of showing love as well. Um, so that carried on not only with my granddad, but my mum as well. I was often in the kitchen with her on a Saturday when my brother and my dad went to see Newcastle United. Me and her would bake things like cakes, like scones, and really, really bond and enjoy that experience together. And that carried on till I was around 13 and was starting to get bullied from girls at school who I thought were my friends. Turns out they weren't, and the bullying carried on, and I, for about a year, ate bread and drank water only. Lost a heck of a lot of weight, and I definitely know that the weight I was only 7 stone and not much shorter than I am now. I would have been diagnosed with anorexia, and that stayed with those voices stayed with me for about over a year until my mum was diagnosed with lupus. She was 45. I was around 15 and a half. And from what I know now, this is quite a common thing to happen when a woman's going through perimenopause because of those hormone fluctuations that can lead to inflammation within the body.
Okay.
So she was diagnosed with lupus, which is an autoimmune condition, and it affects your blood, it affects your gut, it affects your brain, it affects everything
Is it age related
through the
as well? Is
body.
it age related? Is it particularly kind of linked to women of a certain age or not?
Well, you'll find that it's more women actually do get autoimmune conditions than men. I think it's about a 70-30%, something like that. And you'll find that there's quite a jump when it comes to women going through perimenopause, literally because of that hormone fluctuation that causes inflammation in the body. And that's how a lot of women can then be diagnosed with an autoimmune condition. So she was diagnosed with this at 45, and I just heard immune and kind of started thinking that sounds like it's something to do with her immune system. And I then went off to Newcastle Library and started to see if I could study anything at all just to help my mum see if there was any way to I guess relieve her a little bit because autoimmune conditions also bring extreme exhaustion and quite a lot of pain as well because she was looking after me, my brother, my dad was still around at that point and looking after her own mum who was aged as well. She had a lot on the plate and I just wanted to relieve that in some way. So started reading about things like the immune system. And this is back in 1990, way before the internet, and started kind of putting things together of what the immune system does and how it's actually affected. Carried on studies once the internet came along because that opened up literally so much more to me, and was able to obviously put things like the immune system and gut together, and then the hormones as well, because all three are intricately linked. Kept on studies, and my dad passed away, crikey, in 1999. I was 24 at the time, and really, really just it still affects me now. He left a big hole, and I couldn't really cope with his loss because it happened so really quickly. He was informed that he had cancer around the stomach area 2 weeks beforehand, and within 2 weeks he was gone. So I kind of, I guess, flipped, and rather than starve myself, started binge eating, literally to fill that hole that my dad had left, binge eating and binge drinking. And around about a year or so later, this is when I moved to Liverpool. I was dating a guy from Liverpool and moved down to be with him, but I very much know now I was literally running away from what was going on at home. I carried on the binging, eating and binge drinking for a while, until it just got to the point that I looked at myself in the mirror and just absolutely hated what I saw. So started first of all going to Weight Watchers, things like that, and didn't really understand why I was A, being weighed, and B, given similar to thing like a gold star or whatever for losing weight, or if I didn't lose weight, being almost chastised
Well, it's quite
because of it. So
it's quite public as well, isn't it? That's the other thing.
yeah,
It's a very public way of, which
yeah,
motivates some people, but actually
hmm
to other
definitely
people is just like,
had the
no, thank
opposite
you.
effect on me.
Yeah.
Definitely had the opposite effect on me. So instead, I thought, well, I know a lot of this, but I don't think I can do it on my own. So I hooked up with a nutritionist who was able to understand what was going on here, but also was able to steer me in the right direction in regards to the nutrition side as well. I kept on studying in regards to gut health, hormone health, and immune system because I didn't want to particularly let that go because my mum was still around and I was still, trying to help her, trying to alleviate in some way the pain that she was going through. Um, I was in large scale events at the time. I was managing things like Creamfields, Team the Park, and once I reached 40, me and who the guy I moved down to Liverpool, we did get married. We actually went our separate ways, and it was me that instigated that and took on the guilt and took on the almost the shame of that because I was like, okay, I'm very successful at work. Why the heck can't I be successful in my marriage? And experienced depression, experienced a nervous breakdown as well. And the job that I was in couldn't really handle the fact that I was going through all this kind of personal stuff and let me go.
High
So,
pressure, high stress, get on
yeah.
with it, all of that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. No time for
Yeah.
feelings in hospitality
No,
or anything, is there?
no, no, not at all. Not at all. It's fast moving all the time. So I was not only split up with a husband, out the marital home, living with a friend in she had a two-bedroom flat, so I had one of the bedrooms. My life was literally in this bedroom, and I just plummeted down further. Luckily, a couple of friends that I had at the time saw this and just kept on saying, "You need to go and speak to someone. You need to go and speak to someone." And eventually, I did listen to them and go to see a counsellor who was absolutely amazing. And together we got me from basically down on the floor and built myself back up till I got to a point around about 8 or so months later where I had a decision to make. Did I want to go back into what I was doing within the events industry or go on a different path? And I started going down that different path. Yes, I still had a job, but it wasn't in the events industry. It was in administration just to keep going. But I started gaining qualifications. My first one was literally in food psychology, literally because I'd been through binge eating, anorexia, orthorexia later on when I was in my 30s, and just thought, I really want to start understanding more about this and how I can help women that might have been in a similar situation to myself. Started coaching within food psychology part-time, and then started getting other qualifications within gut health, within hormone health, within nutrition, culinary medicine.
Were you in Wirral at
What
this
an
time, by the way? Had you moved over to this side by
I
then, or
was Yes, I was in the world by then because I had met a very lovely chap who I'm still with
he's on
today.
Go-Wirral as well? There you go. So yeah, yeah,
He is,
yeah.
yeah.
There you go.
He is, yeah.
He is a
He
good
is
egg then.
very much so, and he's a very good plumber.
Yeah. You give
So
him a
yes.
plug by all means. Absolutely. Your time.
Yes, his business is Wirral Express Plumbing. He very good, meticulous plumber, shall we say, which is I think you'll need when you've got a plumber. But yes, start getting all these qualifications, and something just started twigging, saying I really need to. Yes, I've got these qualifications, and understanding now what I do in regards to the psychology side of things. It's like, well, all of these things meld together as one. And yes, you can go and see a nutritionist. Yes, you can go and see someone uh, in regards to your eating habits, but bringing those all together, I don't think there was many people, or still many people, that do.
That's what I was just about to ask, actually. So, is what you're describing common across anyone apart from you? Those different areas: nutrition, food psychology, gut health, hormone.
I haven't seen that many people that
Mm.
do, I'll be honest with you.
Because it's that kind of maybe that whole holistic picture rather than one specific specialism, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I was still doing this part time up till 2020 when wonderful COVID happened. In that time as well, it was May 2020. My mum had been diagnosed with mixed dementia quite a number of years before. And what I know now, I know it's very much linked to her diagnosis of lupus, and she had a nasty fall in the February of 2020, and unfortunately she passed away on May the 25th, 2020. But she had, from the very start, been my inspiration. She still is my inspiration, and that was just a catalyst for me to say, right, you've got all these qualifications, you've been doing it part-time for a while, let's just go for it and actually see what happens. So at that point, I wrote my first book, which is True Taste, which is all based on the recipes that I gave to clients in their food plans that they said I should put in a book. And I went full time with my practice, bringing literally everything in. in regards to hormone health, gut health, the food psychology side of things, and ran with that for a while until a very good friend of mine, Claire Morton, who runs her own retreats, said to me, Could you actually be my retreat chef this weekend?" And that's how I actually got into the retreat chefing side of things, which is now over 4 years ago that I started doing that at retreats. That is now another branch of my business, as well as my own retreats as well, where women come away either in October or March to not only cook with me, but we work on their nervous system as well. And we also have a hypnotherapist there to work on the food psychology side as well. So
Are the retreats
the
your favorite bit, do you think? I'm just thinking of that, you're talking about food, the
oh,
connection, cooking together, the familial kind of thing. Is that doing things with people maybe the most enjoyable part, do you think?
it's definitely one of the most enjoyable, yeah, because you can see the transformation of women coming in. And I'm talking about my own retreats here of the women coming in at the start when you can basically see their shoulders are like this. And you can see that they are very highly stressed and possibly not necessarily knowing what to
Yeah.
expect. But being with them over those next few days, getting to understand themselves a little bit more, getting them to literally look at the symptoms and understand the bodies a bit more, you can see an absolute huge transformation. I'll give you an example of one lady in particular. I'll not give a name, but she came to my October retreat and only known a little bit about it a few weeks before. She was very bloated, very exhausted, and yeah, just again, not feeling herself. But when she left, I hope she doesn't mind me saying, um, she wasn't constipated anymore. Her bloating had gone down significantly, and you could see that spark back in her eyes. She had time to completely rest. Yes, she wasn't completely rid of fatigue, but you could see a
Yeah.
huge difference.
And
And
like, what you're talking about there, so someone with quite a specific issue in terms of, like, being constipated and, that being linked to maybe diet. So what are we teaching people at these retreats about the types of food to eat and the types of food to avoid, for example, if you've got so like someone like me, so I get stressed. I get really stressed when I'm doing something that's public. I usually get stressed before doing something like this, but I'm getting better. But if it's something public where I'm public speaking, that network event last week, I had to do some kind of talk, very, very stressed, very anxious, and my stomach will just go. So could you give me any advice for something very specific like that? And go, well, what are
yeah,
the foods to avoid? I drink coffee. That's probably a really bad idea, isn't it?
can for a start, I'd actually take a step back and not even look at food to start off with. Um, Literally because when we're in this stressed situation, digestion just stops anyway because blood literally floods away from your digestive system in order just to help you survive.
Okay. I do lots
So
of work on sympathetic nervous systems and fight or flight, so I should know this stuff. I should, but I don't because it applies to me, not to other people. So this is why, yeah, when it's us, it's different. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And the very first thing I tell all my successful clients is, what are you actually doing before you eat?
So for me, do I
Literally.
even eat when I'm stressed? I don't even think I do eat. I think
Mhm.
I drink coffee. I know that. So I drink coffee and I eat in a rush. Yeah, there you go. I eat in a rush. Is that mistake number one?
So Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. If your mind is one racing elsewhere, you're eating in a rush, your digestive system isn't going to be working in the slightest because what it's having to work a hell of a lot harder, which is going to be stressful anyway. You eating in a rush means that food is being presented in your stomach in a completely different way as if you were calm. One, your stomach acid won't have actually been able to work properly. So food will actually be sitting there, and a lot of people think that they've got too much acid. A lot of the time we've got not enough because there's not enough acid there to break down the food. And literally the food sits there and ferments in the stomach, which is why people think, oh my God, I've got too much acid. Literally, no, it's because the food's fermenting in your
that
stomach
makes
and
total
that's
sense to me,
creating
by the way.
bubbling.
Yeah, because
And
that's what
that,
it feels like
yeah,
bubbling. That's exactly what it
hmm
feels like for me,
yeah,
and I can
hmm
link it to those times when I'm highly stressed and I do rush
hmm
when,
yeah,
I'll eat on the way to the train or something like that. It won't be like I won't have a proper breakfast, a normal breakfast. I will eat in a rush because I'm rushing to go somewhere. Um, but yeah, absolutely, like what you've just described is bang on. It's like a bubbling feeling. It's like,
yeah.
yeah, it's not right actually, but
hmm
it's
So that's
only at those
literally
times.
food sitting in your stomach,
Right.
fermenting, and it sounds,
Yeah. Yeah.
but that's exactly what it's doing. It's just sitting there fermenting because it can't digest because you're in stress mode, and the two don't work together. It's like pedals of a car. You've got your accelerator and you've got your brake.
Mhm.
The two do not
Yeah.
work together. You've got to press one or the other.
That's really good, just good advice for me. Hopefully that helps some other people because I mustn't be the only person who deals with that. I must not be.
No,
So
absolutely not.
why, you've been talking about food psychology and I've got my questions here. Why do so many people, why is it so common, do you think, that we struggle with our relationship with food? So is there why is there so many people that do just not have a healthy relationship with food? What is that about? Is that cultural? What is that? What do you think?
Food is seen as something that we go to for celebration, for comfort, for loneliness. Literally, you can think of any kind of emotion, food is usually a go to. Not only that, quite a lot, and whether or not it still happens today, I think it can do. A lot of it stems from our childhood when we're told A, to finish the food on our plate,
Hmm.
B, you're rewarded for doing that with a dessert.
Yeah, yeah.
And something else as well is that we I don't think any kind of culture doesn't celebrate or get together as people without food being there as part of it. So it's almost ingrained that food is a part of everyone's life. And from what I understand from working with a lot of people is that it's understanding the difference between emotional hunger and physical hunger, which has really been lost for a hell of a lot of people. A hell of a lot of people.
Could you just explain that a little bit more then? So what would you say is like, physical hunger versus emotional hunger, or how might I recognize that I'm eating out of emotional hunger rather than because I'm hungry,
Yeah, yeah.
which I probably do,
Emotional
by the
hunger.
way. Yeah. So
Emotional hunger is immediate.
yeah, junk
It's
food
something
maybe,
bam.
junk food
Yeah,
related
it's there. It's like gotta have it now.
validation.
Physical hunger is something that builds, something that you can feel. Literally, okay, I'm feeling a little bit hungry, but not necessarily like I need to eat right now. Whereas the emotional hunger is immediate.
Interesting. And like just like with me. I will just eat like that. Not really because I'm hungry. I'll just eat because I'm gonna eat now. That's that.
Yeah.
There's no
Mhm.
thinking behind it. I don't think of the psychology of it. Uh, I just eat because, oh, it must be time. You know,
Yeah.
not because my body's told me. Today I ate actually because my body told me, but that's quite rare. It's quite rare actually. So the fact that I've noticed it maybe shows how rare it is. I'll just eat usually because, how
Yeah.
to eat.
Yeah. Everyone does the same,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that literally the body likes rhythm
Hmm.
and it likes certainty as well. So when it is physical hunger, that is when it is a very good time to eat because then the body gets used to, okay, if I am actually physically hungry, I'm going to get fed, which not only deals with the blood sugar, but also deals with that feeling of anxiety. Because the more we can balance the blood sugar, the more the body can then come out of that stress response.
Interesting. Yeah, because actually when you get like too hungry as well, you can get hangry, can't you? And that's a bit like my wife, she won't mind me saying, she gets hangry,
Mhm.
very short tempered when her blood sugars are low, definitely.
Yeah.
She,
And that's
she's
literally
gone past
your
the point.
brain saying, hang on,
Yeah,
we need something and we need
yeah,
something damn quick.
yeah, absolutely. So how do we kind of what are some of the common challenges maybe of because because we're talking about like busy lifestyles, modern lifestyles, always on the move, always doing 20 things, 25 things, stress, anxiety. That's like the world that we live in. Maybe that's just the world I live in. But like, what are some of the common challenges that you see for kind of women navigating that busy lifestyle? Maybe even parents, it's like it's hard to have that routine when you're like looking after everyone and all that type of stuff. Do you find that that's like a common problem for women?
Absolutely. God, I don't even think it's just a common problem for women,
Yeah,
to be quite honest with you. I think these days it's a common problem, unfortunately, for everyone. And I think I've touched on this before with you, Sean, that we get so much information on the internet, Google, social media, that is going to say to you, you can solve this and you can solve it now. And
instant,
people just keep on buying and buying and buying into that. And it's just not that simple. Well, it can be, but it needs a bit more work than just buying, I don't know, the next wonder pill.
yeah. You've got to maybe understand.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
vaped.
Absolutely. Understand
I
what is actually
yeah.
going on with
I
you.
vaped for a long time, and I smoked. I smoked from very very early on in life, and then changed it. Vaped. Could never stop. Could never quit nicotine. And then I was delivering some training on addictions and dependency and the difference between the two. And as soon as I understood why I was vaping, stress and anxiety, by the way, so same thing, pressure, stress, anxiety. What I was looking was to do was breathe. What I needed to do was breathe, but what I was doing was inhaling instead of just breathing. And as soon as I knew what it was and why I was doing it, I stopped. I didn't even find it difficult. I just went, oh, that's why I'm doing it now. I need to just breathe instead of smoke. Breathe instead of smoke, and now breathe instead of smoke. But honestly, it did. Even though that seems simple, you're absolutely right. It's just you've got to understand it maybe to make it simple in a way. And I'm
Exactly. And
assuming that food might be the same.
I think that's why quite a lot of women struggle with this because they do go to the doctors or they do even go on Google and read medical information. It is quite a lot of the time. The heck does all of that mean? And as I said before, when women can get blood tests and still have those results in the normal range. A normal range is from here to way over here when it comes to the likes of functional medicine. That is completely different because I from what I know now is that, GPs and doctors only will deal with it once it gets to that chronic stage. I wanna actually deal with it way before it gets to that chronic stage so we can stop it going to chronic and you can understand exactly what is going on in your body and how you yourself can start fixing it instead of relying on going to the GP.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry to make comparison, but it just sometimes helps me understand things, and it's like, well, you can take the nicotine replacement therapy, can't you? And you can deal with the kind of COPD that goes with on the asthma. I've got asthma that goes with smoking, or you can maybe try to understand why you're smoking and try to stop it that way. We're trying to prevent in a way, not to deal with the symptom. We're trying to, when it happens, it's almost trying to prevent it before it happens or preventing it from becoming worse. Is there any kind of simple, practical steps that people can take now without seeing you? We'll talk about how people can see it and what they can expect when they do see you. But, is there any kind of simple, practical steps that people can take to improve their gut or hormone health now, for example?
Yeah, I'll give you my 3, 2, 1.
Hmm.
Can you remember Ted Rogers and Dusty Bin?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my god, I'm gonna sound so old. There was this program in the 1970s and 1980s called Dusty Bin, and it was his thing was 3, 2, 1.
No. I had
Um,
Sarah Green
oh well,
going live, and I think she used to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I could never do it, but yeah.
look 'em up on YouTube. Very old kind of thing. I am in my 50s, so I know, but yeah, I'll give you my 3, 2, 1, and that literally is something to do before you eat. So you can, one, start digesting that food properly and take benefits of the nutrients actually within the food. So, three is taking 3 deep breaths before starting to eat. And when I say deep breaths, I mean from the abdomen. So you're breathing in and your breath out is longer than your breath
Okay.
in because that is going to literally flip that switch over and help your body into
So
relaxation.
is that like that nervous system reset
Yeah,
almost? Right.
yeah.
Brilliant.
Mhm.
I never knew
Number
that.
2,
Never,
number
never. I
2,
knew that, but I never knew that was linked to food or should be done before food, which makes total sense now you've said it.
yeah. Number 2, make sure both feet are actually planted on the floor, so you're grounded. And 1, look at your food before you start eating it because digestion and your gut starts at your mouth,
Okay.
not your stomach, it starts at your mouth. And the enzymes actually in your mouth will start breaking down the food before it gets to the stomach. So once it gets to the stomach, you're not putting as much stress on the stomach. So that is going to start your mouth watering. If you look at food and your mouth is starting watering, you are helping your digestive system.
So interesting and so practical, like
Yeah.
actual practical tips then, aren't they?
Mhm.
And then in terms of like any practical food, as in terms of like food types or certain foods to
Ooh,
avoid, certain foods to, is there anything like that?
you know what? What I will say is if your gut is in a, let's just say, fragile state, probably one of the worst things you can do is have salad.
Okay. Why?
You're giving your gut a much more difficult job to do with eating raw stuff.
Okay.
So everything, vegetables, cooked and warm. So your body isn't having so much of a difficult job processing it, but also the warmth is going to create safety within the body. And all the body wants to do is be safe.
Right, okay. So if you're kind of maybe on that more like anxious side of food, upset stomach, more the other side
Mhm.
than constipated, then it's actually warm, comforting, um,
Yes.
safety to the body rather than
Yeah.
your body having to break
100%.
down. With and the pull, isn't it, is to always eat maybe more raw, more salad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the pull.
Definitely not.
Yeah, interesting.
Definitely
So
not.
it's kind of the opposite of maybe, yeah, what I've
Yeah.
been doing for all my life. So this is really helpful for me. So there's some practical tips, like outside of kind of coming to speak to you. How can people find you and tell people exactly what services you can do for them? So if they have listened to this, they thought, you know what, a lot of this is making sense, like it makes sense for me. What could they expect when they connect with you and contact you?
Okay, so, one is my books. I have True Taste and The Nourish Reset. The Nourish Reset, uh, is my newest book that was finished in November last year, and that is all about what I really focus on with women in regards to seasonal eating.
Hmm.
Reason being is that food actually in season is going to much more support your gut and your hormone health. So that has recipes for all the year round, for budget, for weekend, weekday, and it also has some dessert in there. If you've never worked with me before, that's probably where I'd say for people to start.
Where can people find that, Marg?
They can find it on my website, which is margaretbell.co.uk.
Brilliant.
So that's a very good place to start. Now, if they're wanting to explore further, I do have a hormone and gut online reset. And that's a 4-week program. It's literally just finished within the last week. So the next one will actually be starting in October this year. And again, that's on my website as well. I only take a small kind of cohort each time, up to 10 women. And we go through the foundations of gut health, how gut health and hormone health are linked up. We also go through blood sugar as well, because it's not just all linked to food, and then bringing that all together within real life and how you can actually support your hormones and gut health in real
So
life.
practical in real life and
Exactly.
practical. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then from that, women can work with me one to one. And that is the real specialized stuff, because I have women who work with me who have, like to say, definite hormone issues, but also IBS that isn't clearing up, um, autoimmune conditions, thyroid conditions, all that kind of thing is what I go into within a 6 month deep dive. And that takes it from what we can get out of a form that a lady fills in about her lifestyle and blood work as well, having her understand, and then planning for the next 6 months what we're actually going to do to get her back to herself. And then there's my retreats as well, which happen in October and in March. The October is on, let me just remember, the 9th to the 11th.
Okay. And is that in North
And
Wales? Yeah.
yes, it is Snowdonia, that one.
Mhm. They look amazing. The videos look incredible. No, they
Thank
did.
you.
They just do. They remind me. Yeah, yeah. It's when you first started talking and you're talking about like food and like memories and like your own personal journey, how you link it maybe to cooking with people that you loved, and it reminds me of like I used to live with me nan, and we moved areas. So my mum and dad moved to a different area, so I wanted to stay in the same school, so I lived with me nan for about 3 years. And they made me the same tea every night. Like not every night.
Yeah,
Monday was a certain tea, Tuesday was curry. It was the same thing
I
every
get it.
week.
Yeah.
And it was just the safest, most comforting kind of thing that made like I'll kind of always remember. I always talk about it in the homelessness work that I do because we're trying to create things called psychologically informed environments. And they're all about traditions and routines and rituals, and I think that's what I get from me nan really. And shout out to me nan if she ever listens to this. It's just like food is a big part of that memory. It's like a core memory,
Huge.
you know. And
Yeah.
and when I look at your videos, it reminds me of our people getting those core memories from that experience of being there with you and cooking together, and remembering food, and
Yes.
linking it to the connection and all that. I think it looks really interesting.
Yeah. 100%. Because I've got women who, oh, crikey, who book on for every single retreat.
Mhm.
I'll repeat bookers, and each time it's like, yeah, I want to come back for the next one. I want to
Kind of
come
its
back
own
for the next one.
community, essentially, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, community,
definitely.
almost familial. I love it. I think
Yeah.
it's really interesting. And then also, so you've kind of mentioned your website. You're also findable on Go-Wirral, which is just always helpful because people can just find you quickly. Is there anything that you want to ask me while you're here?
Oh my god. Oh yes.
Please do. Oh yeah, hey, there's loads of people watching.
Have I?
There's like
Oh,
one, two,
fantastic.
three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You're talking about, yeah, you're talking about 30 people, maybe something like that. That's not bad.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
they could say I'm lying because they might get the number and it might be 12, but it looks like a lot to me.
What I will say, if you don't mind me saying this, I've actually got an event coming up
Hmm.
on the 9th of July,
Okay.
which is with Laura Tier. I do believe you know Laura.
Yeah. Oh,
And
Laura. Yeah, well, that's how we met.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. And we've also got a third lady, Liz. We have come together literally because all three of us have experienced burnout, also known as burnout. Basically, I experienced it when I hit 40, when everything literally went to hell. And Laura's experienced it and Liz experienced it. So we've come together on the 9th of July at the Golden Lion in Rossett, and we're giving ladies literally a chance to understand what their bodies are going through before they hit that burnout. So they learn how to actually prevent it, and the help as well we can give through nutrition, through mindset, through we've even got a lady who's going to be doing chair yoga. And so there's different kind of modalities coming together literally so women can understand those whispers that we can all hear before they really start shouting and lead to that burnout. So that's coming up on the
amazing.
9th of July. But I guess the question that I wanted to ask is when we actually do our cooking together,
Yeah, I thought you might say something like that.
are you happy for it to be
Yeah,
filmed so
yeah,
we can
yeah, I
actually
am.
put it
Yeah,
out?
absolutely. I'm getting into the world of like, being on, just, yeah, talking in front of people. It's not like me preferred because, again, body issues, it's just like, and just issues with just hearing your own voice and all that. But I'm just gonna have to get over it and I'm just gonna have to grow up essentially. And I'm getting better. It's 43. I need to grow up, and that's what I'm doing this year. So yeah, so absolutely happy to be filmed. Let's do it. Yeah, let's
Fantastic.
absolutely do it. So what are we gonna do? Tell me.
So, what exactly are your cooking skills? Go on, do tell.
I used to be in charge of roast, but then I've become really like de-skilled. I'm getting
Mhm.
much more de-skilled as my wife works less and I work more. I'm becoming more de-skilled, I think, and just being a bit like, oh, where's your tea? Like, and I just have everything done for me. So I'm just becoming more de-skilled. I cook steak. I am like the steak man. If
Okay.
there's a barbecue, I'll do barbecue. So if it's very, very much like just like frying meat really is probably my only thing that I'm good at. I don't understand anything
Okay.
else. Like, yeah, yeah. I don't understand how to bake or anything like that. Like, I've got no
Mhm.
clue.
Right. What I'm gonna have you doing
Mhm.
is a two-course dinner.
You know what? I'm absolutely up for this. I think it sounds really interesting. But you're gonna teach me how to cook as well.
Absolutely,
Oh, yeah, I'm
absolutely.
game.
I'll be telling you how, specific
Yeah,
techniques. I'll be showing you how to present it
yeah. I mean,
so
that's
it looks
something that you're gonna struggle
yeah.
with
Mhm.
with me.
Showing you how to present it, you'll be able to taste it. You'll be able to take some of the food away with you, because this is a service that I do offer as well.
Okay.
Spending 3 or 4 hours with me
Well, you
and learning.
domesticate men and teach them how to. That's really good. There's definitely a business in that.
But understanding why certain ingredients are
Yeah.
used as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to do that. I think it sounds really interesting. I think film it, it's content. I love anything like that. Make me look stupid. I'm not really that bothered. I look stupid anyway, so it's kind of like, yeah, I look forward to that.
Fab.
And what
Wonderful
and
stuff.
you've asked me online, you've asked me in person online now, so there's no
Exactly.
going back for me.
There's no going
No,
back on
that's
it
it.
now.
That's it. Because I think secretly of being like, I hope she doesn't ask. Because then I don't have to learn anything, because that's just
Mm,
what I'm like. I'm just like, Don't teach me anything." But yeah, I'm glad you've done it publicly because it makes me wanna meet the challenge, so thank you.
yeah, fab.
Right, I thank you so much for your time. Look at that, perfect within the hour as well. So just thank you for taking the time and talking to us, and thank you for supporting the project in the way that you have. Um,
No problem, sure.
yeah, and let's hope that it's just the beginning of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much, Mark.
Lovely speaking to you.
Thanks a
See you
lot.
soon.
I'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.